Mike, what's up, bro? I think that's how it works. That's not how it works. All right, what's up, everybody? So I'm attempting to go on Facebook Live and Instagram Live at the same time. I want to see how this works. This one looks kind of like blurry. How do I change the brightness up? I'm gonna figure it out. Is it? Do you guys hear like an echo? Y'all hear echo? I want to know. No echoes? You guys hear me good? Where's my lip balm? No echoes? All right, perfect. I'm excited about this. I'm excited because I have both phones out, and I was telling Sade, I was like, I think it's gonna work, and it's working, so that's a good thing. All right, anywho, so a lot happened today that I want to go over. Obviously, we had CPI. I'm going to break that down. I'm going to break down the markets, how it impacted the markets from an investor standpoint, also a trading standpoint. I'm also going to break down my thoughts on what's ideally going to happen in the near future regarding rate cuts, as well as like how it's going to impact the markets, whether it's going to be bullish or it's going to be bearish for it. Another thing as well, had a great trading day with CPI as well. Caught around about like 260 pips, two positions. It was great. It was definitely a great day. In the Discord, we killed it as well. If you're not trading live with us, link in the Discord below, or description Discord. Link is in the description below, so trade live with us. But before getting into that, I had a great day today as well. So where I live at now, there's a new Lifetime gym that they built. Like, I mean, it's not too far, but it was pretty dope. So I went in there. I did. They had infrared sauna. That was very interesting. They also had a cold plunge. If you guys have not checked out my story, check it out. I was in there for about 7 seconds. I knew it was going to be cold, but I didn't know it was going to be that cold. So I definitely got to redeem myself. And next time I go, I have to stay in there for about like, I don't know, maybe about like at least 30 seconds. At least I got to do that next time. But yeah, nonetheless, yeah, it was a great day across the board. All right, going into everything as well. So quick disclaimer, any and everything that is said here today is for entertainment purposes only. Do not act on these things. Do not act on any of these things without first doing your own research and speaking to your financial advisor. All right, now that that's out the way. So yes, we got inflation that had came out this morning. It was interesting nonetheless. So we got a lot of mixed data regarding what happened, whether it was good, whether it was bad. So I'm going to break down just my thoughts, especially from what we have covered from it. So technically, according to the CME Fed Watch Tool, before the actual release, right? So the release came out at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time this morning. So before the release, there was an 84% chance that the Fed will cut rates in September. All right, that's going to be September 17th, if I'm not mistaken. I have a computer in front of me, and I'm over here using my brain right now to remember or memory. Yeah, September 17th. So ideally, that would be the first rate cut. And again, as I said, it was an 84% chance that they were going to cut it, for September. After the release, it would jump up to 94. So as of right now, it's a 94% chance that they are going to cut rates in September. And ideally, when you're looking at rate cuts, the market doesn't like to go against what CME Fed Watch Tool is saying. So if CME Fed Watch Tool is saying that it is going to be about like a 94% chance, more likely that's what it's going to be. Now, the thing about it as well is that I 100% think we are going to have a rate cut, mainly because I'm going to break down some more points on it. Again, as I said, I'm going to break down my thoughts on how it impact the markets from both an investing point of view and a trading point of view. So just stay tuned for that. But besides that though, so we have not much data left to confirm if they're going to cut rates or not. So what we have left is we have a PPI, we have one more CPI, we have another NFP, which is jobs data, jobs data. We have that coming as well. So those some key points in reference to if there's going to if they're going to cut rates or not. And honestly, especially with the previous NFP that we had, which came out terrible. Honestly, it's probably the worst we had since December. And that really confirmed that we're going to have a rate cut. Mainly because what Powell, who's the Fed chairman, what he's talking about is he said he wants to slow down the economy before he actually cut rates. I agree to that, and I know a lot of people, they're saying that we need a rate cut now. The reason why I agree to it is because if you cut rates too soon, that right there can be inflationary, right? So like by doing that, it's also supply and demand. So we obviously know what happened during COVID. You know, they cut rates all the way to zero. You know, people got a lot of free money. People weren't saving, right? What they were doing was just going out, blowing out of control. And that's supply and demand. So that's the reason why, you know, it adds to what we have now when it comes to higher inflation, right? At one point, inflation was over 6%, then actually pull back down. So continue with this as well. Now, from this, the stock market actually made an all-time high. So we have both an all-time high close with NASDAQ as well as an all-time high close with the S&P. And if you are not in these markets, you are doing yourself a huge disservice. I don't care if you guys have like $1 invested in these markets. Like, so what I think is funny, I was looking at something, right? And it was saying like, if you invested into the markets, and this is since, what was it? It was since the Great Recession. If you invested in the markets, literally the day before every single crash we've had, you'll still be up over, like, it was like 300%. So like, well, it was more than that, but I'm throwing that out there. So think about that as well. It's like a lot of people, they see these red days and they get fearful, but in reality, it's like the market is going to continue going up. And the funny thing about it when it comes to investing is that a lot of people are fearful of it, but in reality, it's like the markets, well, I'm repeating myself, the reason why the markets will continue going up is because if a business is doing bad, especially like the S&P and NASDAQ or the Dow, it'll get replaced with a market that's doing good. What's up, Darcy? It'll get replaced with a market that's doing good. So if that's the case, that means it's going to continue going up. Like, that's the reason why you want to make sure you have your money invested in that. It doesn't make sense to not do that. It really doesn't, because even if we break it down, like, look, we're going to go back towards April, right? We're going to go to the very lowest point of April when everybody's freaking out and panicking. So that right there is, hold on, daily time frame. Let me jump down to, that right there is April 7th, if I'm not mistaken. Right, that's April 7th. So we go to the very lowest point of, you know, people panicking, right? As of now, the market's up 34% since then. So just imagine you make 34% of your money just by leaving it in the markets. And that's why it's so important to go about doing so. Because in reality, you have your shit in the bank, and what are you gaining? Like, the best case scenario with I want to talk about like the highest high yield savings account you'll get is not even 5%. Truthfully, if you do that, the highest you'll get probably 4%, and you probably get 4% if you have referral bonuses. So it just shows that like 4% for the year compared to 30% in like a few months. So it's like it's just really a no-brainer. And even if you don't go that route, if you go from like literally from January 1st all the way to today, because again, included dip, right? So we go from January 1st. Where's January 1st? January 1st is January 2nd. So January 2nd all the way to today, you are up over 9%. So you made 9% of your bread just by having it in the markets from January till now. So it's like, why you don't have your money just invested in it? Like, again, for us, we do that. I mean, saving wise, I think there's like a few things you should save. Like, you should save for like, 6 months of bills and expenses. You should have an account for emergencies. You have an account for like large purchases, or have an account for travel, whatever you feel. But besides that, like, you should not, there's no reason why you should have more money saved than you have invested. And I truly think that, like, we're told, yeah, save your money, but it's like, you want to save it to an extent. You want to just make sure that you have these few things set aside, because as I said, like, you got over 9% of your bread you just made just by sitting, like, leaving that shit there. So it's like, you don't really do anything productively for that. And then on top of that, you got inflation, right? So I'm going to break that down in a quick second, but inflation alone shows you why you should not have your money just sitting there. Like, if we pull up the inflation calculator right now, right, we're going to do that. So the inflation calculator, let's say we have, we're going to put $100. You're going to have that from, we're going to do June of 2024 to June of 2025, right? So $100 in 2024 has the same buying power in 2025 as $102.60. So it's like, it just shows you, like, you just lost value. Like, it went from 100 to 102.67. You lost value. So it just doesn't make sense for you to keep your money just like not in the market. It's really doing themselves a service. All right, hold on. I'm gonna go Facebook first, and I'm gonna go to Instagram. All right, you talking that talk, fam? Yeah, appreciate that. Yeah, I just got started too, so I'm about to really go in. What would be your top 5 stocks to invest in? Did I give myself a disclaimer? I did. My top 5 that I invest in, definitely Nvidia. You want to go with Nvidia, you can do that. All right, Nvidia, Microsoft. You can go with Apple. You can go with, that's not really a stock. Well, you should be investing in that. Let's do it this way. You want to go with VOO. You want to go with Nvidia. You want to go with Apple. You want to go with Microsoft. You want to go with Amazon. Amazon and Google, well, I like Amazon better. So those are my top 5 as well. So those top 5 I recommend would be that. I think a lot of people are confused to what to invest in. Right, and that's the thing too. So like when it comes to investing, I think I put a story about this. Like, cause we go to Target like damn near, it's really insane. We go to Target like every other day. Like I came back from the gym and I went to Target before I came home. I know you guys are like bashing Target. That's okay. But anywho, so like a lot of people, we hear which like, invest where you spend your money at. And I get it because like you want to get your foot in the door. However, I don't think that makes sense because ideally, I don't think that Target is a smart investment. So I think like if you want to like look for like, even if you don't, those top 5 that I just said are very important. But the first thing you want to prioritize is VOO. That right there is like my savings account, like really. But I would say put your money in that, and that right there is pretty much the S&P 500. And as I said, the S&P is going to continue to go up in value, so it just doesn't make sense for you to not invest in that. But like, for those who watching recording, you could just scroll back and see. But those would be like ideal, the best things that you should do. I remember I was talking to this girl, and she was saying how she's investing in Uber. And right now Uber is not bad, right? So it's like, you see what's going on with it. But I wouldn't really invest in Uber. I don't invest in just anything. Like it has to make sense. And for me, what makes sense is where money is flowing towards. So if big money is flowing towards that, I'm going to invest in that as well. So an example is like Apple. Apple is investing $600 billion into the US. They're also creating jobs in Kentucky. So from that, it's like, it makes sense for us to go and invest that. Yes, it's called VOO. Darcy, you definitely should know that already, especially in the Discord. I'm going to talk about that. But yeah, so like that would be like the wisest thing to do. Let me continue some more thoughts I had, or head points, notes that I wrote down. I actually wrote notes this time, so I'm getting better at that. So continuing from the CPI that we got today. So it was, as I said, it was mixed headlines, mainly because, it was mixed headlines. And depending on the source you see, like if you see a lot of like right source or, a lot of like conservative sites, you'll see that CPI came in good, right? Obviously because of Trump, it's more right. If you looked at a lot of like left sources, you'll see that CPI came in bad. Technically CPI, it did come in bad, let's be real. And the reason why I feel that way is because, and I also explained why the markets went up too. So technically year-over-year remained the same, right? From the previous, it came in as expected. The expectation was that we were going to, let me go back to it. The expectation for the CPI, why are you not on today's date, bro? Come on, bro. What's today's date? Oh, it's 12. The expectation for today was CPI was supposed to come in 2.8, which is an increase from the previous month, which means that CPI is going up. It actually came in at 2.7 as expected. Now for the dollar, that's not great, mainly because, and that's why dollar pairs was tanking. The reason why that's not great is because when it comes to inflation for the actual currency, you want that currency inflation to be increasing. Why? Because if you invest with us, you'll make more money because again, inflation is increasing. So that's the reason why the dollar started to tank, but I'll get back into the trading aspect of it. But continuing from it, so that came in as expected. Core CPI came in 3.1%, and that was an increase from 2.9%. That's also the biggest increase that we've got since in these past 6 months. So that's the real reason why it did go up. Now, the reason why, headline didn't increase, again, it came out as expected. But the real reason why I feel the market still went up and why people are saying, it's still good, mainly because, Powell said, which is the Fed chairman, Powell said that he's going to be cutting rates once we have a slowdown in the economy. So we had the last NFP, pretty much the worst we've had since Biden's last one in December. So that came in bad. So now we have NFP came in bad. We had CPI really came in bad as well. So the markets are like, we getting bad CPI? I love it because I know for a fact that means that Powell's going to start cutting rates soon. And everybody wants that. Like everybody wants power to cut rates soon because it's going to be beneficial for the markets as well as, trading wise too. It's going to be a boom. That's actually going to spin into what I was just breaking down. I actually wrote down what rate cuts mean. All right, so when you have rate cuts, you're going to have QE. After you have QE, you're going to have an increase of any type of assets that you have, and they call that asset inflation. Bring them on camera. Oh, I don't. Yo, I'm on Facebook Live, and it says bring them on camera. I'm thinking like someone's saying bring them on camera. That's insane. It's actually Facebook telling me that. I really feel like an old head that I did not understand what that was. But what was I talking about? Oh yeah, so inflation. So like when they cut rates, it's going to be a boom on assets. Like it's called asset inflation. So if you have anything right now that these dips we get in, you want to invest in it, right? So we know not everyone, but each rate cut we got, especially let's start with crypto. So each rate cut we got with crypto, Bitcoin kept booming. So if you actually I'm not gonna go look at that right now, but if you break down each rate cut and the actual dates, you can see that when we got that cut, Bitcoin shot up, right? It really turned into a bullish cycle. I actually think it's funny because technically Bitcoin is not supposed to be quote unquote regulated, but let's be real, like the banks control Bitcoin now. Like you got Michael Saylor who got shit as well. I think he's the top holder, but besides that, Bitcoin is against what it's supposed to be created for. However, it is still a great investment, right? If you have something and it's at 100K and it goes up to 120, that's gain. So it's like that's really no brainer. But as I say here plenty of times as well, XRP, Solana, those are like my biggest things too. I'm very, 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 very bullish on XRP. I still think that before the year is over, we'll hit $7. I was saying that beforehand. I still think that Bitcoin should hit about like at least 150. And Solana's playing games, but Solana before the year is over, we should at least get to 300. It's really playing games right now. Like this fucking cycle is like, bro, make up your fucking mind. Like it's really irritating. But yeah, so added to that, like when it comes to the actual stock markets, like I'm like, what does he say? Trump said he was like, we're gonna have a boom like you've never seen. Like, technically because we made all-time highs, that's technically right. But in reality, like being real though, it is gonna be a boom. So it's like when you cut rates and like every investor named mother is waiting for this shit to happen. So that also brings to now the actual trading aspect of it, right? So like if you look at today's CPI, right before it happened, depending on what you're trading, but this is the reason why you need to understand the fundamentals of trading, but what's most important is the technicals of trading. Because at the end of the day, fundamentals let you know when to get into the market, technical shows you the market is going. So like if you look at like a higher time frame, let's say besides like COVID, because we know that shit like tanked, but like you really don't know the dates that like these high impact news came out. You don't know the exact day CPI came out, Fed rates, you really don't know that, right? And that's why when it comes to like swing traders, they don't really care about any like day-to-day news because their whole goal is like not weeks and months, that's position. Their goal is more so like days, to weeks in advance. They not care about the day-to-day aspect. But as an actual intraday trader, you gotta pay attention to that. So like to not know when these like simple things are coming out, you're not doing the work beforehand. Like the work is done before the trade, it's not done during the trade. But like, and it's easy to do. Like you go to Forex Factory, and that's for like all high impact news too. You can just go there and just see what's coming out. Like they have the whole shit for the month, the year, and so forth. So like that's something that you actually want to take and look. But yeah, like, as I said too, is like if you actually look at the markets. So for me, I trade US 30, which is the indice version, the Forex CFD indice version of the Dow Jones. So if you're doing futures, that'll be YM. But yeah, it's really the same thing, just different name, allegedly. So even with that, like if you look at before CPI came out, like we're hovering on support. We had a break, retest, support is holding. And one little tip that's like make it easy as well when it comes to trading, especially like high impact news. Ideally, you could just stay out of it because it is like very volatile. And if you're someone who's not used to volatility, it can really screw you over. It can really play with your emotions, right? You gotta be like really trained to it. And that's why a lot of traders, they do skip on high impact news. I don't. We actually trade every high impact news live together in my Discord. Again, link is in the description below. But besides that, like we were hovering on support. So like if price is hovering on support, and we know that if price is on support, it's like, what do you do at support? Do you go for buys? Do you go for sells? You go for buys. So you just want to wait until like the candle confirmation tells you that. But ideally, that's the route you want to take. When it comes to like resistance, really the same exact thing. And that's why like even with dollar pairs, like right before it came out, dollar pairs were at resistance. Well, dollar pairs when it comes to dollar quotes. I'm sorry, dollar base, not quotes. Quotes are more so at at support. So like ideally you just want to pay attention and focus on those things. Let me see what you guys are saying in here. Each one teach one, let's go. This is all facts. What platform do you use to invest in stocks? You can use SoFi, you can use Fidelity, you can use Charles Schwab. It's really, it doesn't really matter. Funny enough, I used to say to not use Robinhood, but like Robinhood is low-key becoming legit, which I never thought I'd actually say that. But you can do Robinhood too. It's becoming more legit. You can do Robinhood. So like, yeah, there's really no one size fits all. I use VOO as well. Yeah, VOO is just keep your money in that. Like, just have your shit in VOO and just don't touch it. Like, just leave it in there. As I said too, like, let's go to, the update has been good. Yeah, if we're gonna go to like, again, every crash we've had. I mean, obviously we've had all-time highs. So with an all-time high, it definitely means that whatever you have beforehand, it is up. I wish the metaverse crypto. Oh my gosh, Meta. What did I say again? Amazon. Yeah, get Amazon out of here. That's insane. I can't believe I missed Meta. Wow. I need to invest more in Meta. I actually don't have Meta's not my top, which again, I'm doing myself a disservice. But if we're gonna do it again, I would say VOO, I would say Nvidia. Again, this is disclaimer, I already said my disclaimer. So I would do VOO, I would do Nvidia, I would do Meta. Yeah, I would do Meta, I would do Apple, that's 4, Nvidia, VOO, Nvidia, Meta, Apple, and that 5th spot, Microsoft. Yeah, Microsoft. Those 5 right there, it makes, like, that would be the top 5 right there. I wish the metaverse cryptos get their time to. Yeah, so like, I get it with like meme coins and like, I get it. I'm not a fan of it. And I'm not knocking anyone who has meme coins, anyone who's like in those type of things. But for me, it's like I've learned to, instead of diversifying my money like everywhere, I keep it on certain sectors, right? So as I said, like those are actually 5 and 6. Really the stocks that I own and QQQ. But besides that, I don't invest any other stocks. Like so, and then when it comes to crypto, I'm only in XRP and Solana. Like Bitcoin, I own Bitcoin because like I'm transferring money, and I've been I've been transferring money, and then from there like I would like leave some in Bitcoin. I've been doing that, so it counts. But like yes, I've noticed that like especially watching those who have like they just stuck to their one thing and seeing how much they increase by, it's like why don't I use that same type of philosophy towards investing? So when it comes to investing, I don't diversify across the board. I know people who do that. But I just don't think it makes sense. So you gotta do what works best for you. I mean it works. Like it really works for me. So I'm not gonna switch it. What else is being said? This is fun though, man. This is fun. I gotta get back to doing this more often. I'm having a lot of fun doing this. Yeah. So trading wise, I actually gotta get ready for this call. I have a group call with my Discord at 8:00. I also gotta go eat dinner. So if you guys have any other questions, let me know before I jump off of this. You can ask me anything as well. Both Facebook and Instagram. I don't know why Facebook is saying slow connection. It keeps going in and out. I don't know if you guys see that on your end, but it is all looking on my end that is like that. Yeah, it's a good week. It's a good week. It's a very good week. So it's a good week investing wise. It's a good week trading wise as well. July was great for me, and right now, God willing, I am literally transferring that same energy into August. So August actually turned into a great month for me as well on my account. And that's the thing too, like especially when it comes to trading, like I feel like one big thing that messes traders up is that they focus on making money rather than getting better. So like I know it's kind of like bizarre to say, but like when you focus on making money, you're not gonna make money. When you focus on getting better, you're going to make more money. And I think the reason why it's like that is because you're transitioning your mindset from let me trade to see how much money I can make towards let me trade to see what the market is giving me, and let me trade to not even well, let me trade what the market is giving me, as well as let me trade to follow my system. I think most traders, if they just focus on following their system, they're gonna realize that like trading is not that difficult, right? There's a sense of like people trade from scarcity, they don't trade from abundance. They think that like, oh, I lost 2 trades, I suck, I don't know what I'm doing, right? They don't think about the probability of trading. Like these are key things that traders need to focus on. And it's like, and I get it too, because some people, they be like, well, I need some bread right now. I gotta like, jump in the trade, jump that trade, and so forth. And it's like, that's not really what you want to do, because you're just chasing money. You're not chasing the actual progression. But when you chase progression, you're gonna make a lot more money. Like I guarantee it. That's a good no lie. Oh, that's great. That's great. All right, I have my son upstairs. He's going crazy. I have to eat before this group call, so I appreciate everyone who jumped in. This is going to be recorded. Obviously, it's going to be posted on on YouTube for you guys watching. It should be there. If not tonight, then more likely in the morning. So appreciate you guys. Peace out.